Hello, I'm Winston Ledet with the Manufacturing Game. I would like to talk to you about the Manager's Shield, namely the socio-technical networks for reliability. Managers today are responsible for operating and maintaining facilities and keeping order in very complex organizations. Advances in technology have greatly enhanced our ability to control very sophisticated and powerful machinery. This has also increased the need for advanced technical skills to operate and maintain this equipment. The complexities of these operations require the combined efforts of everyone, a network of people with multiple skills and talents to ensure that the machines continue to operate safely and efficiently. This network of people, often called the shadow network, is a group of people in an organization working cross-functionally who are all committed to improving the safety and reliability of that organization. The shadow network is not clandestine, but rather an informal organization rather than a formal one. These informal networks are what create the Manager's Shield. When a shadow network works together through the use of cross-functional action teams, they make socio-technical connection. Socio referring to people and their connections to each other, and technical referring to equipment and people's knowledge and skill of that equipment. Managers today have come to realize that these new technologies caused increased challenges. Years ago, it was not unusual to find foremen, supervisors, and even managers who had enough experience running a facility to do the jobs of any of the people who reported to them. Many of them had actually moved into these positions after starting on the factory floor as an operator or a mechanic. As machines, particularly control systems, have increased in sophistication, most managers could not perform the jobs of every person who reports to them because he does not have the experience or the training for all of those jobs. This increase in complexity has created a different situation for managers today. The manager is much more dependent on the workers to operate the facility and make repairs when malfunctions occur. Access to the collective know-how of this network can serve as a shield to preserve the integrity of the facility. This includes the knowledge and understanding of all of the people, operations, maintenance, engineering, etc., anyone who touches the equipment. In the past, a single person might have the experience to deal with the technology through his own knowledge, but this is rarely the case today. Managers need to respect and trust their employees to understand and operate their equipment through the use of these networks. In the 1960s, a large body of work was published on socio-technical networks. An example used in these studies was the Longwall coal mines of England. It was recognized that the Longwall mining system required a different type of management from the one that had existed in the past. Managing in a new system required the coordination of work that took place along a 750-foot long machine that stripped coal from an underground seam and conveyed it to the trolley cars that transported the coal to the surface. This was drastically different from the small crews of miners using picks, shovels, and wheelbarrows to move the coal from the seam to the trolley. The social engagement within the pick and shovel crew was an important dynamic of getting the work done. Once they dispersed the crew to tend to the 750-foot long machine, the social nature of the crew dynamic was lost, and a natural coordination of work that existed within the crew was disrupted. Early attempts to restore the social aspect of work focused on safety and health issues, previously tended to by the crew dynamics. In the early days, when a miner was injured or killed, the crew would financially provide for his family. This was the social part of the system, and at that point, very little technical aspect existed since all of the equipment was hand tools. While the work group providing for the families of injured or killed men met the social needs, it did not address the technical issues of operating the machinery once the Longwall equipment was introduced. Later research recognized that the technical aspect of the network required people to share their intelligence regarding the proper functioning of the machinery. This part of the socio-technical network was created by the bonding of people and connections of trust that occurred whenever they performed meaningful work together. As machinery has grown more and more complex, the idea of solving problems with people from different functions emerged as a guiding principle for programs such as total productive maintenance. These cross-functional teams formed to make improvements in the functioning of machines. They not only solved problems, but also created bonds between the people based on the meaning they experienced in the process of making the improvement. So why should socio-technical networks matter to a manager? In organizations that have strong socio-technical networks, the managers can call upon the network to not only solve problems, but better yet, to prevent the problems from occurring in the first place. That's what we call the manager's shield. The next obvious question is, if a strong socio-technical network is not present, how can one be created and put in place? Whether you realize it or not, your organization already has what we call a shadow network. It's the manager's responsibility to make sure that the network morphs into one that also includes the equipment so that it becomes a socio-technical network. Socio-technical network connections can be established through the use of cross-functional action teams. It's about listening to your employees and contractors and trusting them to eliminate defects. It's important to remember they have the knowledge and experience that they've acquired in their daily routines, company training, and also policies and procedures that have been put in place over the years. Once the socio-technical network is established, it must be recognized, validated, and nurtured, or it can simply disappear, leaving the manager vulnerable once again. This brings up an interesting point about the difference between leadership and management. People often think of these as the same thing. In the context of socio-technical networks, leadership is best described as the process of creating the socio-technical network, while management uses the socio-technical network as a shield to protect the organization as changes are made. It is important that the changes maximize the value to the organization by mitigating risk involved. Leadership addresses the question, what types of changes are needed? And management addresses the question, what magnitude of change is needed? When we apply these insights to reliability in manufacturing organizations based on our benchmarking and computer modeling, we make the following conclusions. From a leader's point of view, the type of change needed is defect elimination by cross-functional action teams. From a manager's point of view, the magnitude of change needed is 1 team per 100 work orders per year. From a worker's point of view, the commitment needed to make the change is every worker participating in approximately 4 action teams per year in order to begin the process of change. With a manager's shield effectively in place, the possibilities for both maintaining your license to operate with integrity and for realizing sustained culture change are endless. As a leader, it's up to you to establish and sustain a strong socio-technical network. As a manager, it's up to you to have the courage to require and provide the budget for at least 1 improvement per 100 work orders in your facility per year to sustain your shield. This can be accomplished through the use of defect elimination and cross-functional teams. If you need help with that, contact us at the Manufacturing Game. It is a proven tool to facilitate the creation of strong socio-technical networks and a strong manager's shield. You have nothing to lose as long as your shield is in place. It's possible to change the culture of your facility in 2 to 3 years, and the people in your organization will thank you for it.
Learn more about the Shadow Network and the Manager's Shield in Level 5 Leadership at Work, the second book in the Heroic Change series. Along with the first book in the series, Don't Just Fix It, Improve It. You can order it on MROzone.com and Amazon.com.